What's up, YouTube? Sean the Average Angler, and we got a video for you. I'm trying to muster up some energy here. I'm a little tired tonight. I stayed up a little later than usual last night, and then, well, you know the rest. You got to go to work still and all that kind of stuff. So, anyway, we have a fun one today. I think just about everybody can agree that frog fishing, frogs, can be some of the funnest bites of all time. During the spawn and post-spawn can be a great time to frog fish too. Very underutilized actually by a lot of people. And conditions got to be right, and you got to be around the right kind of stuff. But one thing I've learned is that a bass does not like a frog hovering over his bed. So they will crush it. But today we're going to talk a little bit more about the post-spawn, because that's when we can start moving, covering water. Now, a lot of people may not think of frog fishing as covering water, but let me show you. There is a way to do it. This here is a Spro Essentials kicking frog. Probably one of the best buzz bait type frogs, just cast and wind. It kicks really, really well. I did notice, and these are only a year old, that they're starting to crack around the hook. These have been out all year in my rod rack in the garage. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know, I doubt it. Anyway, for this technique, I have this Daiwa Tatula Ish Monroe 7'9" frog rod. You don't need this. It's kind of a luxury. It's Ish's long cast frog rod, I think is what they called it or referred to it as. And it's got AGS guides, so it's really kind of overkill. Frog fishing is pretty simple and basic. This is an old Powell 735, which was their frog rod. You see frogs and toads here, if it'll focus. I don't know if it will or not. But anyway, it says frogs and toads. This rod says medium, heavy, extra fast. I'm going to say this is a heavy. I didn't like using this one for a standard type frog. The kicking frog was fine, but a Poppin frog or a regular frog, when I set the hook, it hurt my shoulder too much because it was just not enough give. So I actually, for that type of frogging, will typically go with something like a 734 and 65-pound braid. I'm not overly particular about the braid I use for frogging. I'll use spider wire, I'll use Power Pro, I'll use fins. Strong is all that matters. So the nice thing about the kicking frog, other than they come in, a lot of different colors. Black, there's black and yellow. Brown to silver. And then you got the other types like this. This is a Booyah, I think. I don't use that one very much. But there's the Teckel frog. You can do the Teckel. And you can even use the Zoom horny toad to locate where there might be groups of fish hiding in and around cover. Once you locate them with these, then you can go to the other type of frog. There's a white one. Okay. There's a couple other. This is a depths This thing, if you haven't seen it, is really awesome. It kind of walks side to side. Kind of reminds me more of a bird than a frog. Bird that fell in the water and having a hard time getting out. There's the Snag Proof Buzz Frog. So what I'll do is I'll go through areas with the kicking frog until I get bit or blown up on, right? I'm looking for some activity where we might have some post-fish spawn hanging out. Post-spawn fish hanging out. Then I would pick up a rod that has a regular frog. Usually I will start with a Poppin frog. And my experience in the post-spawn and spawn is that this one's really, really good. I don't know, resembles bluegill, whatever, but gotten some ferocious bites on that one. And then also this live target. So we're looking for areas, grass flats, tule pockets that might have some junk piled up in them. And those post-spawn fish will hang out in cover to rest. And when you got a poppin frog, sometimes you need to fish it real subtle. This is I think it's a Sanford. It's a boom boom frog. It's got the little patch on here that Boom Boom says their teeth get in it, and it helps keep them to compress the frog. This one's not the softest frog. It's really why I like the live targets. They're really, really soft, as are these Spros. These Spro, this is like a different material. It's almost sponge-like, but the hookup ratio on them is really good. And last year, I found this frog, which I think had actually been out the year prior, and easily got more bites on this frog than any other. And that's the Jackall Gavacho. At one point, they were kind of hard to find. I don't think that's the case anymore. My complaint with this frog, it's very stiff, and the hookup ratio on it was terrible. I changed it out to an EWG hook. Unfortunately, I did that too late. So I don't know if it'll work better, and I'm going to try boiling it to try and soften the frog up, because this one's really, it's a great color. It got a ton of bites, but it just, the hookup ratio was terrible. Frog fishing is a lot of fun, and some years the frog bites better than others, obviously, like a lot of things. I remember a year at Clear Lake where you would wear out a white frog every day, just throwing it around docks. Shad spawn going on, and the white frogs were just getting destroyed, and there was just so many fish up under the docks. When you're frog fishing, wait to feel weight. When people first learn to frog fish, they see the blow up, and the knee-jerk reaction is to set. We all do it. I did it. That's why I'm bringing it up. You really want to wait to feel the weight, which doesn't take long. Reel into it. Your line's going to be fairly taut anyway, so it won't take much. And once you feel the weight, swing away. but swing for all she's worth. Those are big hooks. They're dual hooks. There's a lot of plastic there. A lot of times they're in thick grass, tules, weeds, hydrilla. So you want to get a good hook in the fish, and you want to turn the fish all at the same time and get them coming to you. Quicker you can get them out, the better your odds are of keeping them hooked up. So get outside these areas where your fish are spawning. It doesn't have to be a grass lake. They'll eat a frog on non-grass lakes too. You want to look for things like the edges of docks that are laying on the water, shade lines, shade pockets. It can be clear water, and there will be frogfish available. It's just a matter of figuring out how they set up on that lake. And if there's not a lot of cover, they'll use shade. Shade is a great attractor to mama bass. Okay? Give it a shot, folks. Get you some frogs. I will put them in the description. I'll put some down there. I'll put a variety. I really like the Poppin frog this time of year. The Spro Poppin frog, can't go wrong with it. It's a great one. That kicking frog for covering water, and that one's easy to get confidence with, because really all you got to do is chunk and whine. You know, you're just kicking. It's just like a very subtle buzzbait. Anyway, thanks for watching the videos. I really appreciate it. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.